ونوره وبركته وهداه وأعوذ بك من شر ما فيه وشر ما بعده. أصبحنا على فطرة الإسلام لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك حجا حقا تعبدا ورقا لبيك مرغوبا ومرغوبا إليك لبيك ذا النعماء والفضل الحسن لبيك وسعديك والخير بيديك والرغباء إليك والعمل لبيك ذا المعارج لبيك ذا الفواضل لبيك إله الحق لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen that we are here for one of our last, we're moving towards the end of Unit E, and we are here for our session. If you can hear me, you can type 1, inshallah. And we will start. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Welcome, Awwaloon, mashallah, Dania and Zain. Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you tremendously. What was something special last night? What was happening last night? Can anybody tell or type what was happening last night? So we can start the Laylatul Qadr. Very nice. So we are in Ramadan 1440. And the odd nights just began. We had 21st of Ramadan. We are on 21st of Ramadan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward tremendously for the efforts to stay up in the night and do Qiyamul Layl and still be put in a good schedule and be here for the class, alhamdulillah. So Jazakallah khair for being here, and inshallah we are going to work on our topic today. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah put barakah in our time and help them make the most of today, inshallah. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tamim bil khair. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli ushdud bihi azri wa ashriku fi amri kay nusabbihaka kathira wa nadhkuraka kathira innaka kunta bina basira. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So before even we go into our sharing nature, is there something that you would like to share? All it takes is one good deed. Is there something that you would like to share with others? You can raise your hand if you would like to share a good deed that inspired you, or you were able to do a good deed and you would like to share it with everybody to inspire others. So go ahead. All right, let's see. This is an opportunity. Zain, would you like to share what is something special that you did last night? You guys can unmute and then talk. Oh yes, Tanya, that was so beautiful and amazing. I don't know if you can take a picture real quick and get it on your computer. We can probably show it as well because this is something really beautiful. So if you can get that done, I can make you a presenter during the class and then you can show it to everybody as well. So would you like to talk about it, Danya? Okay, so So I'll give you time. Go ahead, you can upload. I see you here, so go ahead, you can upload. Meanwhile, Jazakallah khair for sharing that. That was a beautiful picture of how we can make the most of our Laylatul Qadr. I am going to show you, let me see if I can show you the one she got her inspiration from, and then she spent time working on it and making it beautiful. Let me see if I'm able to show it to you. So, okay, let me see. I'll try my best. If I'm able to, then I'll show it to you guys. Meanwhile, any one good deed that you were able to do, go ahead. Hadia, what were you able to do? Hadia, can you unmute yourself because we can't hear you here?
I was able to load the dishwasher, but we couldn't put the soap in since it was really tough. But yeah.
So what were you able to do? I'm sorry, can you say it again?
I loaded the dishwasher.
Uh-huh. Okay.
The soap, it was tough, so I couldn't open the lid though.
So were you able to open then, or you were not still able to open it?
We weren't able to open it.
You were able to open it. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. That was amazing. So even a little bit help, even if it's like loading the dishwasher, it is really helpful to everybody. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us, excel in good deeds, inshallah. So here is the picture of the inspiration for Dania. And meanwhile, Sarah, go ahead. You can take the mic and you can tell us how was your experience. We had a special Qiyamul Layl in our local masjid. Even the sahur was served there. So go ahead, Sarah. Sarah, unmute yourself because it's muted right now. Okay, while I'm waiting, Sarah. Okay, go ahead. Yes, Sarah, I saw you unmute and then it muted again. So go ahead. Okay, while I'm waiting, Sarah. Okay, go ahead. Yes, Sarah, I saw you unmute and then it muted again. So go ahead. Okay, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy. I'm not sure what's happening, but you guys can see here. Go ahead and circle when you are in the night of power. Why is it important to pray tahajjud? MashaAllah, Sarah, I'm really proud of you that you prayed tahajjud last night. And that's a qiyamul layl that the Prophet ﷺ would do regularly. He would regularly be up, early hours in the night and be up in prayer. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to continue that even later. And that's your best one-to-one time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So no matter what you want, what you need, be up at that time to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the same, inshallah. So you can see that, inshallah. So go ahead, you can circle why this one night is so important. How much is this one night even worth? So you can circle what is the one night. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this is khayru min alfi shahr. So that alfi shahr, the 1,000. Very good, Dania. Excellent. So that one night is 83 plus years of ibadah. So that night is so precious. We are down. The 21st is done. Now we have to find it in 23, 25, 27, and 29. So 4 more nights to go. So definitely plan for this night. How much is 1 hour important in this night? You can circle that and tell us, like, 1 hour is almost like 10 years of worship. Isn't that amazing? And how about a minute? Yes, how about a minute? 1 minute in this night that we typically waste just like crazy. We don't even realize that that minute is ticking by, you know. And this night, by the way, starts right after Maghrib, is more than 58 days of worship, which means that this is like kind of 2 months of ibadah, right? Almost 2 months of ibadah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us realize that how important it is to realize. Okay, Dani, I'm trying to fix your, okay. Yeah, so how important it is to pray even in this 1 minute of this, right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us realize that. And let me just press it save. Okay, and how about circling just 1 second? You know, like 1 second is like, you know, even right now there were a few seconds while we were looking at this. So 1 second is 23 hours of worship. Typically the Qiyamul Layl or Tarawih is like, you know, not more than 2 hours. Imagine that 1 second that you were busy remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more than 23 hours of worship. Isn't that incredible? So go ahead and tell me, Locke, what you were able to do. There are some do's and don'ts, right? So what should we do? You can underline or you can put a little check mark next to what you were able to do. And the dua for this night that Rasulullah, you know, taught Hazrat Aisha was that Allahumma innaka afuwan kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Were you able to pray Isha and Fajr in Masjid? Were you able to make some du'as? Were you able to do zikr, istighfar? And definitely cross out some things that you avoided, especially for last night, right? So alhamdulillah, if you did not waste time, if you did not you know, end up gossiping, so it's really not worth the value for that night. So jazakallah khair, Dania, for sharing with us how you spent your night and your thoughtfulness to create one for the local masjid. So this is a big size poster. It looks like a page sheet right here, but this is like, I don't know, Dania, how big of a size this could be. Can you tell us some specifications about this, probably?
But your butcher paper is kind of really big.
Can you estimate the size, like in terms of?
At least a yard long.
At least a yard long. Okay, so this is incredible. So how were you able to make such a nice circle on this?
I used a pot and then I traced it.
Oh, I see. So you used a pot, so it looks really incredible. So mashallah, that's really incredible that sometimes some friends who come to the masjid, they have no idea that, you know, this is so much valuable. Some people who come, they don't realize that even every 1 second, you know, just even 1 second is 23 hours of worship. It's like a day's worth of ibadah in just 1 second. So we should not be wasting it gossiping or, you know, regret later that, oh, I missed out on that. So alhamdulillah. Zain, are you able to open up your mic? I wanted to hear how was your night and what did you do? Okay, Zain, can you now hear us?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Can you share what were you able to do in the yesterday night?
Yesterday I was able to read a part of the Quran, and I was able to read Qiyam in the morning before Fajr.
Alhamdulillah. So that is so valuable, so incredible when you are able to do a good deed yourself and then you are able to lead others also on that. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you tremendously. So what did you recite in that qiyam?
I recited the last part of Surah Mu'minun.
Okay, excellent. Alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Anything that stands out in your mind as a do or a don't while you're doing that recitation?
No, not really.
Not really? Okay, so next time when we recite the Quran, let's be very reflective on it and see what is something that I need to do, right? So when we hear Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr, now I need to see like what do I have to do, right? I have to value this Laylatul Qadr. And when we hear that Salamun hiya hatta matla al-fajr, then I have to strive all the way from the night to Fajr to get the most of this night, right? To the best of our capabilities. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is really merciful, and He sees our efforts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you tremendously for that. Let's go ahead and let's see how we can take care of environment today. And you will see a lot of connections to this month of Ramadan here, especially when we'll talk about the food and stuff here. So let's go ahead. I see Hadia's hand raised. So Hadia, go ahead. You can start reading.
And he created gardens, palms, and produced with fruits of various sorts like olives and pomegranates. Some are alike and some are different. Each of its fruit when it bears fruit, and pay the due charity when you harvest it. Do not waste, for Allah doesn't like those who waste. In all things of nature there is something with the marvelous.
Subhanallah. So we have some words from the Quran, translation from the Quran, and then we have this quotation. We're going to go deep down in it and we will see, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us. But before even we do that, can you go ahead and underline in green what Allah wants us to do and underline in red what Allah does not want us to do? Sometimes there are some people, you get a beautiful edible arrangement of fruits and you're like, astaghfirullah, we don't want to eat it in this dunya, right? For us is the akhirah. No, that is not the situation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to have the best in this dunya and the best in the akhirah. So very good, excellent. So Allah asks us to eat of the fruits, when it bear fruits. And what Allah wants us to do is pay the charity when you harvest it. Right? So even there is a zakah, if you are like, a farmer, you have a crop and you are growing some fruits or things, you have to give out charity. And Allah does not like wasters. So next time we take a food serving, then we should try our best not to waste it. Yesterday, there was a beautiful fruit kebab that we saw. I'm going to try to pull it up and show it to you guys as well. But let's read at this time. So go ahead, Tanya.
The environment is our big home that we all live in. Islam teaches us to respect the environment. The environment includes the wildlife and buildings we live in or use. Taking care of our environment and keeping it safe, healthy, and clean are the best ways to respect the environment around us.
Alhamdulillah. So let's find out how we're going to take care of this big home for us, right? So look at that. This is so beautiful, like so many goats and sheep going around. So let's find out. Hadia, you're again here. Go ahead. You can take the mic. And those who want to read, just raise your hand so we can start reading, inshallah. Go ahead, Hadia.
Taking care of nature. Do you see the blue sky up above? Can you smell the scent of the roses? What about the reef? They're refreshing waterfalls and streams. Nature around us is beautiful, but many people do not appreciate it. Respecting nature is very important because it is the creation and gift of Allah. What would happen if the flowers stopped growing and birds stopped singing? we would not have beautiful and colorful scenery, and the mornings would be quiet without the birds.
Isn't that amazing that this nature is so beautiful around us, right? Even when I'm sitting, I can see in my view the blue sky and the beautiful green, leaves of the trees swaying in the wind. It's so beautiful, right? And I'm so glad that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not just send us in a black and white world. So there's so much color around us. And so we need to think about these questions. What if the cows stop producing milk? What do you guys think? If there's no milk, what will go off the world? Go ahead, type your answers. If Allah just took away the cows, or the cows stop producing milk, what will be missing in our lives? Thinkers, let's see. Dairy products will be gone. Very good. Do you have any idea what not dairy produces? Even that yummy, delicious ice cream that we all love, that will be gone. We will not have milk, cheese, and other dairy products. Very good. Ice cream will be gone. How about a cheese pizza? Right? And so many other things will be gone, right? Eggs obviously coming from chicken, but just imagine, like, when the milk is not there, then all that yogurt parfaits and the yummy delicious smoothies, they will be gone, right? And if trees quit producing fruits, then what will happen, right? And plants cease to give us vegetables. Can you think of some vegetables and write them? What all vegetables will be gone? No more French fries, right? No more. Why no French fries, by the way? What are French fries made of? Cucumber plant, yes. No. French fries are not made of milk.
Potatoes.
Potatoes, very good. So no more French fries. And what else? What else? Like vegetables, if you took them away, all that salads, lettuce, tomato, potato, right? Peppers. Even imagine the chicken curry that is made will not be able to be made. Why? Because you need that onions for the gravy and the tomatoes in there. So life would stop for many species, and we would not be able to live on planet Earth. So let's read from there. Go ahead, Dania.
Prophet Muhammad ﷺ ordered people to protect nature and keep the environment healthy and clean. He forbade Muslims from cutting trees without a good reason. He also prevented people from trashing parks, shade trees, and sources of water. The Prophet also ordered Muslims to care for animals, feeding them and keeping them healthy.
Alhamdulillah. Go ahead.
Rasulullah ﷺ told us that taking care of animals will take us to Jannah. He also warned us that hurting animals may take us to Jahannam.
Right, so we have to be so careful and so conscious, for that. And definitely, Ajwad, no lettuce for burgers. That's so true. So let's see. We have Sarah. You are next. And go ahead. You can read the hadith, the words of the Prophet ﷺ. So you can read the translation.
Abu Huraira narrated that the Prophet...
Let's say just radiallahu anhu. Okay, may Allah be pleased with him.
Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Avoid 2 actions that hurt people and cause them to curse you." The Sahaba said, "What are they, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam?" "Don't urinate in the way of people or under shade trees or objects where people sit."
Alhamdulillah. So, ittaqul la'inin. So 2 things which are very important. Go ahead and underline those 2 things. What we have to avoid, right? Rasulullah, like in nature, we cannot, like, you know, like there are times people do not have bathrooms. They would, it's like on the way, or maybe you're traveling and you can just, you know, stop somewhere and, you know, use any place for your need. Rasulullah told us to be very careful. Jazakallah khair, very good. So in the way of people, we should not be doing any of these things, right? And not in the places where people sit. Okay, so if there is, certainly there are times, has anybody ever been in a situation where there's no access to a bathroom and you had to go out and, you know, use the nature for any purpose? As a type 1, if you never had that experience, then you can type 2. I definitely know experience, like, you know, Sabah had that experience, yes. So in that time, if you ever have to do that, try to go a little far away from people sit, all right? So not to do it at a place where people sit, or not in the way of the people, right? So you can go a little far away. So alhamdulillah, we lived in a blessed area that alhamdulillah we have, you know, it's a very developed country. So even on the way, when we are on long journeys, we find access to the bathroom, right? Am I the only one? Okay, yes. I was, Sabah, you want to share your experience? Like, you know, was this here in USA or was it somewhere back home?
It was in the USA, and we were like shopping for a house, and then there was no like water running in the house that we were at, so I couldn't like run and use the bathroom there. So while everyone else was like looking at the house, my mom told me to run out in the garden.
Guys, it's funny, but you know, this is a need. Like if you have a need, then obviously we need to use it. And sometimes what they do is they, like even if there's no water, they block the seats as well. So you can't really use the restroom area because they really don't want anybody to be using that house which they are put on sale. So very good pointing out there. So sometimes you can end up in that situation. And anytime it happens, let's be mindful and remember Rasulullah's words that he says that don't do it in the way of people or under shade trees or objects where people sit. So just go a little bit more farther in the garden and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy. So let's see, conserving natural resources. How are we going to do that? Go ahead, Dania.
Another important way to respect nature is to conserve natural resources. Many people waste water and throw food in the garbage. Wasting water, plants, animals, and food is prohibited in Islam.
Let me just stop you 1 second here. If you have, you know, seen people wasting water, that's 1. If you have seen people throwing food in the garbage, that's 2. So you can type 1 or 2. If you've never seen people doing that, that's 3. I so look forward to a world where we can see 3s. Yeah. Anybody wants to share? Where do you have typically seen that happening?
It's usually at the masjid for iftar, and like they leave the water bottle full of water and they just throw the whole food away when they don't have.
It's so sad when people just take a sip and then the rest of the water bottle is like nobody can really use it now, right? And they should carry it with me. We really, you know what we can do is maybe we can put some Sharpies in the masjid, and maybe we can be a water inspector or something like that. Kind of, we can create some nice role for that. And we can, when somebody picks up a water bottle, we can gently ask them to write their name on it, right? So that way, sometimes people genuinely forget, oh, which was my bottle? And then they're like, okay, let me just grab a new one. So maybe one person can be a water in charge, you know, in no matter which place you are. And whenever somebody's picking one, just ask them, you know, write their name, or maybe have a printout over there for the procedure. And that way we can reduce that, right? Ajwad, Ajwad, you want to say that? Or you can open your mic and you can share. Yeah, one way is what Ajwad is saying while he's opening up his mic. The other way is to cover it up and take it home. Yes, Ajwad. We did hear you.
So, I let my dad eat the food because I'm full most of the times and I don't want to waste it. So I let my dad eat the food because I don't want to waste it and let it go, but I don't want to eat it more. And because I don't want to stomach it.
Right, definitely. So definitely, one thing is we take enough how much we can handle, and then let's say if you have a leftover, you can ask a family member if they would like to share in. And if that is not a possibility, then just cover it and take it home. Maybe use it at your next meal, right? So, but throwing that plate full of food in the trash has severe consequences. I hope one of you specializes, I hope all of you specialize in the areas wherever you go to remind people of that. Every time somebody chops something in the trash, that much food is cut out from the risk as well. So we don't want to be wasters. So go ahead, Dania, go ahead, read what Allah is saying in the Quran.
Allah said in the Quran, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. And eat and drink and be not wasteful. Surely he does not love wasteful people. Right? So the first word was kulu, right? Wakulu washrabu. And these words you can even use when you are talking with each other. This is kulu is eat and sharabash is drink. So eat and drink, but do not waste. Okay, so the word that we have to take out of our life is israf. Right? You wanted one, you like pizza, you take your one slice, you finish it, you completely, some people just eat the pizza and the crust is right there. You can use the crust and use it with the gravy and still finish it off. Allah does not like those who waste, right? Who become like arrogant, oh yeah, that's it, or just put it in a waste. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. All right. So go ahead, Hadia. Hadia, unmute yourself. Once Rasulullah passed by Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas while he was making wudu. Sa'ad was using more water than he actually needed for his wudu. So the Prophet asked Sa'ad, "Why are you wasting water, Sa'ad?" Sa'ad then asked the Prophet ﷺ, "Is it bad to waste water?" The Prophet ﷺ quickly replied, "Yes, even if you are beside a river."
Right. Hadi, I don't know why there's a sound coming when you are speaking in your computer, so try to make sure that you're not moving it, okay? And yes, so this is like so amazing that even if you are beside a river, Rasulullah told us not to waste water. And Ajwad, I really liked your comment that I do not want to waste, because think about the poor people who would eat anything. That's so true. Like I am kind of helping with the cleaning side, and sometimes it hurts me to see new food, like not food which is not even touched, being thrown in the trash, and I'm like, I'll take it, but I don't want it to go to waste, right? So think about all those poor people who are so hungry, and here we are just wasting things like crazy. So how about this water conservation? Is there any plan that you have for your own life now? Go ahead, type where do we use water, how do we use water, and how we can try that we use less of it, right? Think about, give me some places where you are using it. Yes, that's so true, Ajwat. So think about brushing your teeth. When I'm brushing my teeth, should I let my water run? Yes or no? I'm just brushing my teeth and it's take me around 2 minutes. I let the water run? No. When I'm washing dishes, right? So let's say I'm putting soap on it. I'm putting the soap on a plate. Can I just let the water run at that time? Right? And yes, excellent, Sabah. Sabah, you want to share that?
So whenever, oh my god, my voice. Whenever we are at the masjid and I have like leftovers, my mom, she usually will either take some of it and then force me to eat the rest, or she'll take it and then close it up and write our name on it, and then she'll take it home to my brother and my sister and my aunt, and then they'll eat it. And sometimes, because I know they like the food at the masjid, so she'll get more, because the three of them can't share half of some rice and halim. So
Right. Alhamdulillah. So I can't see you guys today. I don't know if it's on my side. Can you guys see each other? You can type one if anybody is able to see each other, or everybody's too sleepy. Okay, two. Okay, nobody has the camera on. Okay, so if you want, you can turn it on. There comes my first. Okay, Sabah is here, mashallah. So yes, and sometimes Sabah, like sometimes, what happens when we are at the masjid and you have leftover food, so you have that plate, you cover it up, you can put another plate on top or put like foil or something. Definitely it's a help for the organizers at the end if you can take extra food home, so that way it gets divided and everybody gets to use it, rather than, because the masjid has no place to store it, right? So at the end it will, otherwise all of it will go in the garbage. So it's better that everybody takes, divides and shares and takes home. Some people think bad about it. They are like, oh, why is somebody taking a plate or something? They may look down upon, but it is much better than those people who end up throwing it in the garbage. It's much better, right? In the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in our personal life. So definitely keep your intentions pure. Like, you don't want to waste. You took something, but you felt full sooner, then go ahead, wrap it and take it home, right? And definitely, if let's say it's time for salah, take few minutes, just go to your car, put it in your car so that it's out of the way of the people, especially for those who are organizing, trying to keep the masjid clean, get it out of the way so that now everybody can focus on their salah, inshallah, right? And I hope by the time you guys grow up, you can set up links of masajids with food pantries so that the leftover food definitely has a place to go, and it can go to feed the homeless shelter, or even when sometimes we step outside the mosque and you see so many business around. Like yesterday, we end up going to Kroger at around 1 in the night, and I was feeling there's so many workers there, right? And they must be hungry. So if we can all take a box and just give it out as a gift to them, imagine how beautiful that would be. That is what made Islam so beautiful. Not just eating everything by yourself, but sharing with others, right? So next time you go to the masjid, you eat something, you like something, make a little sharing platter. And if you stop at a gas filling station or you stop somewhere, share it with somebody else who can enjoy that meal as well. And that's going to make amazing new friends with you. Or you can bring home and share it with a neighbor next day. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the efforts to protect from wasting. Go ahead, Ajwad, you can share your thought.
I wanted to share the thing what I said the earliest. So the French Revolution was the poor people of France rebelled against the rich people of France, because the rich people they had parties and all that, and the poor people didn't even have bread to eat. And this was in the olden times, so like in the 17s. So they rebelled against against the rich people. Poor people should not do that, but we can prevent that if we don't waste food and give some to the poor people.
Right. That's an excellent thought, Ajwad, and that's why Ibrahim alayhi salam, especially, he was such a good host. He would not sit to eat anything unless he has somebody to join him in his food, right? And Rasulullah told us the food for two is good for 3 or 4, and so forth. Like this food is enough. So when you have somebody share it, then it kind of puts barakah in it and it increases. So inshallah, we will pledge today that we are going to eat, we are going to drink. It's nothing wrong about eating or drinking. Like somebody shows up with a nice smoothie cup in their hand and you're like, astaghfirullah, why are you drinking this in the masjid? No, there's no problem eating and drinking. Eat of good, drink of good, but do not waste, right? Don't leave those half-filled things here and there. And the water, let's see your pledges in the text box. What are you going to do with water next time? Next time you're doing wudu, how much water do you think you're going to use? Next time you're taking a shower, can you time yourself, like how much we are going to use the water in the shower, right? And even when we are doing wudu, even if you're next to a river or so, I'm reminded that do not waste water, right? So go ahead, Hadia, following safety rules. How can we do that?
Following safety rules. Some careless people waste our natural resources and destroy the environment when they go outdoors for a picnic. They trash the parks, pick flowers, and even burn up forests. Every year, thousands of trees and animals get burned up.
Get burned up. You know what I was lost thinking about I was reading this part, destroy the environment. I was thinking about, you know, all those sometimes, you know, when even in the masjid we are, and some kids, you know, they end up unsupervised, and it's huge destruction. It's danger and it's destruction of the place. And when you come out in the environment, it's the same thing, right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us that we appreciate the flowers, but we are not like destroying it, right? So go ahead, Sarah.
By careless campers.
Thank you, Hadia.
They cause fire to burn forests, killing animals and destroying thousands of trees and precious plants. Some kids play with fire, and before they know it, they cause big fires to start. Following safety rules is an important way to care for nature and respect the environment.
Have anybody seen a fire start by some careless friends? Anybody has an experience where a fire had started by a careless camper? Type 1. If you have not, then you can type 2. If you have personally experienced. You have, Sabah? Go ahead. You want to share?
So my sister really likes how fire looks. So we had matches, and this one time she ended up, because she likes lighting candles, right? Because she likes the smell of candles as well. So she was lighting a candle, and she had perfume near her, and her elbow kind of like pushed the perfume part down. If you take perfume, or something that like sprays it, like Febreze or something, that can turn the tiny little flame into a big flame. Like it's like if you take that and the match, it can turn into like a flamethrower basically.
Right.
And so she was doing that, and it actually burned her neck. And then another time, she was playing with the fire, and we all were sitting in the second family room, and the fire, like she was like sitting on top of a table, and there was like some she wanted to make the fire bigger, and so she had a little plate or whatever, but like, and so she started lighting the paper on fire one by one, and the fire kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then she got scared, and then my mom noticed, and she was so scared as well. And then my sister thought, oh, let me put water on it. When it's a known fact that water can also make the fire way bigger. So the fire got even bigger, and it was like almost touching the roof. And then my mom, luckily she knew this trick, and she took, and this wasted so much, but to save our life, she took a bucket that we had of flour, and she couldn't just put a little bit of flour in it, so she literally took the whole bucket of flour, or atta, whatever you want to call it, and she dunked it on the fire, and it was so much atta, and it went everywhere, but the fire was out.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward mommy tremendously for her, quick, thought and then taking care of it. Fire can be very, very dangerous, right? And there is a mixture of organic compounds in the perfume, which is in an organic solvent. So these both are very flammable compounds. So when you spray it on a lighter, the aerosol particles instantly catches fire, and this can be very, very dangerous. So we have to be very careful with fire. One time in our house, I woke up in the morning, and it was like early hours, and we had to go for the Feed the Hungry program. So I had some rice, and I had put it out for my husband to take, and they took the rice, they flipped it over into a box, like those whole big boxes, so and they left the foil trays behind. So I was washing them at my sink. I said, okay, let me put these foil trays back. So I was just watching, and then I noticed outside it looks very foggy. I'm looking in the top in the sky, and I'm like, I usually like to look in the sky, so I'm looking there. I'm like, today it looks like very foggy. And as my eyes are coming down, I started seeing flames of fire. That was one of the most scariest thing I had ever seen. And the fire was all around, you know, from my vision from that window. It seemed as if my whole house was, you know, surrounded by fire. So I had to rush Tanya, Hadia, and Zain out of the house. And, you know, alhamdulillah, the most beautiful thing to hear at that time was the fire truck sound. And the fire truck came, they put out the fire, and it turned out that this was one careless camper right here in our neighborhood who had used, you know, some, what do you call, the coal for barbecuing. And the hot coal was left inside something that kept on, you know, becoming hot, 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 and it ignited the fall leaves. And it turned out to be a huge fire. And alhamdulillah, nobody was hurt, but definitely this can be very scary. So jazakallah khair for sharing. Some kids do play with fire, and before they know it, it can be very scary. We had a house completely burned down in very close to our neighborhood with kids just doing fireworks. Right, Tanya? Remember the house right next to Sister Nida's house? So if you look at the house from the front, it looks the house is there. But if you look from the house from the back, everything was gone. Every single thing was gone, because fire can spread so fast, and especially in the houses in America, they are built of wood. So it just gets out of control really quick. So no to all these, and definitely follow safety rules. It's very important, right? Yes, Sabah.
There was actually this story a little bit ago in Norcross, and we actually, like me and my mom, we actually witnessed it before like anyone even noticed it, because it was early in the morning and we were driving by it, and I always look out the window because I have nothing to do, right? And I'm always in like the front seat, and so I'm looking out the window, and I noticed that there's like smoke everywhere and there's fire everywhere, and like apparently I didn't see it with my own eyes, but the house, its foundation, it also had started to shake. And so the house had moved a lot, and it was at a place, and it was a fire that started. I forgot what happened about how it started. I think something with the tank, and it blew, and it literally like, I don't mean to like exaggerate, but like it kind of blew the house up, because the only thing standing was like the wood in the front of the house.
Yes, same thing from this house that I was sharing. Yeah, it was very scary. Unless I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would like, what? How can this be like? But yes, things like this happen. So always ask for protection for your homes, and we're going to see how we're going to take care of your home and other facilities, and the healthy habit that we should show respect to animals, trees, and other living things. When we keep them safe, feed and water them regularly. If you've planted some plants, like make sure that water them and avoid harming them, right, by plucking them. So let's look at our own home and see how we can take care of it. Go ahead, Danya.
Respecting the environment means also that you should keep your house safe, healthy, and clean. We should keep our schools, streets, and other public places safe and clean too. Doing that is part of our iman. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Cleanliness is part of iman." This should be reflected in our daily actions. The Prophet ordered Muslims to keep streets, masjids, front and backyards clean.
And it's so sad that today we, lose it so many times. Like, you usually go to other places, you find them very clean, but when you come to an Islamic or Muslim home or a Muslim masjid, you see things like, kids are left unattended, and the parents, and that's where the parents are really responsible for. Every parent is responsible for their own child, that they should monitor how they're doing it. Even like, think about it, we need to keep it safe, healthy, and clean. Even a little action of putting your shoe not in the shoe rack, how can that make things unsafe? Can anybody share? How can that make things unsafe?
It can
Someone
trip
can
someone.
on the shoe.
Excellent. It can, yes, Hadi, I wasn't able to hear you. I think, yes, Sabah, that's correct. It can trip somebody and the person can have a very severe, like, problem. So usually you enter and you see all these shoes down there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you guys to be in leadership roles. We have to stop this behavior at our homes, at our masajids, in our personal lives. If we have laundry done, our clothes go back in their right place. If we have things, we have to come to the level where we can call ourselves clean. This is not happening. How many of you think, like, I keep everything clean? That's one. Number two, I am trying my best that I keep things clean. And number three, oh no, I am not clean. I need to work definitely more harder, right? So you can do a self-assessment. Okay, where do I think? Once you're done with the class, go with those reflective eyes to your own room, to your own closet, to your own drawer, to your own book study table, to your car, the place where you sit in your car. How clean is that area? You cannot say, oh, mommy and daddy drives the car. You have to look at the place where you are sitting, right? So think about it. Am I leaving trash behind? Am I putting things there? So this cleanliness will only come when each one of us has to look at it. When we have done eating, am I picking up my own food behind me? Am I leaving the place in a better place than I found it? Right? So this has to be very important because this is respect. So let's talk about recycling for a bit now, and that's Hadia. Go ahead. And Hadia was being appreciated for her recycling efforts in her graduation in the school. So go ahead, Hadia. Recycling continue.
Recycling paper, cans, and plastic containers is one good way to take care of the environment. Recycling saves trees and many other natural resources. For example, paper factories cut millions of trees to produce paper and other products. When you dump newspapers, magazines, and other discarded books in the recycling dumpster, you can help to save many trees from being chopped down. Recycling is a very good way to pay respect to our precious environment.
Lot of scratchy sound coming in your camera. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So it is a great way. How many of us recycle, right? One, if you do recycle, or you know how to recycle. Type 2, if you do not know how to recycle or what does recycling means, mashallah, most of your schools have this effort, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us reuse, reduce, and recycle. Can you all type these 3 words? Reuse, reduce, and recycle. Okay, so may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. Respecting the environment also includes caring for and respecting the places of worship like the masjid. A masjid is the house of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ has said that the best places on earth are those where the mosques are found. When we come to perform our prayer in the masjid, we must show respect inside and outside masjid. Alhamdulillah, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Good job. The three. So how many of us can take a pledge that we can make awareness to people that the best place on earth are the masajid? Good job, Sabah. Excellent. So, and let's type 1 if we can educate people that this is the house of Allah and we need to really, really, really be taking care of it. Good job, Tanya. So let's go ahead, Sarah. We're going to listen to the story and let's find out what's happening with Yusuf.
Yusuf was 10 years old when his dad took him and his friends to a nearby park to play. Beautiful trees grew everywhere in the park. Ducks and geese swam in the lake right in the center, while the sun shone down on their colored feathers. Yusuf, his dad, and friends watched the ducks closely as they swam one behind the other. One duck walked out of the lake with 10 baby ducklings following her every step of the way. To make his friends laugh, Yusuf threw a rock at the duck and started to laugh.
Let's stop here and ask ourselves, what do you think? Was it a good thing to do? Yes or no? It was such a beautiful setting, and now we have threw a rock, And we are laughing, we are having fun. Oh no, absolutely. This is not something to be proud of. Okay, go ahead, Danya. You just read it from there. The duck rushed screaming away and a tear settled in her eye. The duck is also a living being, right? Go ahead, Danya.
Yusuf said became very upset with him. Why did you do that? Asked his dad. A person who does not appreciate the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need to be around it. Yusuf's friends were listening too. We would never do that, they thought. Yusuf felt that his dad and his friend disrespected him for what he did. He apologized to everybody and vowed to respect nature and all living things after that. Later, Yusuf learned to respect the environment and all creatures.
Alhamdulillah. So do we understand that it's really, really important that we protect the environment? We make sure that we are not littering, right? We are not throwing the trash in wrong areas. We have to make sure that we throw it only in the right places, right? Even think about it. This is month of Ramadan. Even when we are done with the plates, how do we, trash them out? So important. Keeping earth clean. If you see trash, you pick it up. Don't leave it for somebody else to come and do that. Just go ahead and pick it up and do it for the sake of Allah. Then planting a tree. Has anybody planted a tree? Go ahead and type 1 and give us, the name of what kind of plant do you have. Yes, Ajwad, we will ask that question towards the end. How many of us are fasting? Okay, if you've never planted a tree, that'd be a 2. Okay, and if you want to, that's 3. So we can talk about ideas how we can plant a tree, right? Awesome. So Ajwad, definitely you can, and we all can look into, can go to Home Depot, Walmart. They all have, fruit trees outside. Start looking at them, start educating ourselves, start looking at some YouTube videos about planting trees, and we can plant some trees, right? And if anything eats from that plant, it's a charity for us. So planting a tree is a very great act. We have a huge theme about it, and inshallah, I hope one day we can launch a campaign where we can plant trees. So conserve. The less you use now, the more you will have tomorrow. Turn off the lights and TV when not in the room. Don't waste water or food. So this is all about some practical ideas. So what I want each one of us to do is think, practically, like think about your usual day from the time you wake up until you go to bed, all right? So think about, your usual day, and think about some changes you can make in your daily routine to help the environment. So for example, Ajwad, you want to grow a garden, but my home does not have a lot of space. When you start thinking about these some changes that you're willing to make, you will be surprised that, even what not can grow even in a little space. You can even have a planter and you can grow mint and coriander and things like that right in there, right? So, but it definitely needs education. So you guys, you can take the lead, watch some videos. What were we growing in our house? Dania, Javier, do you remember what was growing very beautifully? Oh yeah, I remember. That was a simple thing, which was a spring onion. So spring onion, all you do is you clip the green part and you put it upside down in a glass of water. And it kept coming back and back and back. So that was so beautiful. So just take a spring onion, put it upside down, so you can use it. So you can definitely use, you can do hydroponics. You can even use, small containers to grow something inside the house as well. All right. And you need to look at those changes in your daily routine to help the environment. And then you write a paragraph about some of these changes and how doing them can improve the environment. Right? So what is something that comes to your mind? Oh, this is something I can do in my daily routine from waking up all the way to going to bed that can help improve the environment, right? So let's see, I'm looking for now, it's your writing time. I'm going to give you a text prompt. Go ahead, get a text prompt and make a square for yourself and write some 3 ideas that you can do. Okay, I can make some boxes for you. So when you claim one box, nobody should write inside that box. Only you should be writing inside this box. Okay, that's Sabah. Okay, go ahead. So you can start writing at least 3 changes. Think about it. Like even as simple as I'm going to make my bed. I'm not going to have laundry sitting on my bed. I'm not going to have my towel, my wet towel in the way of somebody. I'm not going to have my shoes in the ways of others, so they trip over. They're coming to the staircase and now they see my shoes right in the way and they trip over. So I'm gonna put my shoes, even if you have to leave them somewhere, they can be carefully parked on the side, right? So even we were at the scouting iftar the other day, I was thinking, you know, when you're entering the room, don't leave our shoes at the entrance. We can go inside and put the shoes all the way on the other side, so the door does not become a bottleneck. All right. So Zen, can you pick up a box so we can see your words very clearly? Use a water bottle. That's so amazing, Zen. That's such a beautiful suggestion. And put the shoes on the shoe rack. Very good. Okay. Sarah, yes, everybody should have a box and you can write in there. So collect text prompt. Yeah, Zen, don't use that one. The box we've already made, so you can just pick up a box so we can still read the words in the center. And you can use text to write, inshallah. Okay, so bring reusable things. Very good. So even those spoons and forks which are like disposable, we can always put them in the dishwasher and they come out clean. Then you can wash them, use them. Don't waste. America is a huge area where people, you know, don't realize and they end up wasting a lot. Don't waste paper towels. That's incredible. So I'm going to think about your own life and think about how in my life I can make a change to help in my daily routine, right? So for me also, I'm really, this gardening is something which is on my mind as well. So plant a home garden. So because usually when I buy things from the grocery store, they go bad very fast in there. So if I have a home garden, then that mint and coriander can stay fresh and I can use it when I need it, right? And what else? I'm going to be very conscious of water usage. Very good. Don't get the amount of something, you know, when you won't be able to finish. Excellent. Never pollute. Yes, P-O-L-L-U-T-E. So even, you know, when we don't leave our things in the right place, you know, we came home, we have a jacket and it's not in the right place, that's also creating uncleanliness, right? Hadi, I'm waiting for you to give us what are you going to apply in your life? So all these changes will help the environment, right? So let's say you were taking a food at the iftar, so and the dessert was a gulab jamun maybe, right? You can put it in the same plate. We really don't need another plate for that. Can we reduce the number of plates you're going to take, right? Just by using in the same plate. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us, help our ummah come to that level where we start realizing that we will be answering for all these questions. You know, I'll be teaching Surah Maun very shortly at the Pulse of Quran class, and definitely we will be questioned, we will be asked. Surah Al-Takasur also tells us that we will be asked about what blessings Allah had given us, right? So even when you are typing in the right place, it looks clean, right? And it does not make things look dirty. So everything counts, right? And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the changes from all of that. And why do you think some people care about the cleanliness and safety of their homes? You know, this is a thinking question, but do not care about nature and the environment. Why do you think people do that? Go ahead, you can open your mic and you can tell me your opinion on it. Why do people care a lot about their own homes, but they do not care about the nature and the environment or, you know, other places?
Because they're not at they're probably not outside that much, or so they don't really care if it's clean or not. They care about their house since they're always inside of it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a very selfish mentality, right? When it's my home, it's me, everything needs to be clean. But then it's somebody else's. Oh, this mosque belongs to somebody else. Oh, the organizer should keep it clean. Oh, this school belongs to somebody else. I can do whatever here, right? Like some people, they go to somebody's house and they leave the toy room in a huge mess, right? But when they go to their own house, they want their toys to be taken very well care of. So So that selfless and selfish mentality has to be, checked in ourselves. So I need to take care of my home as well, and at the same time, when I go outside, I have to be very respectful of other areas, right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. Somebody wanted to say something? Yes, go ahead.
I remember so we were like, how, like when I was at school, we were, at school, we try and take care of it because we kind of feel bad for the custodians because they have to pick up after us, and they also have to clean the bathrooms as well, which shouldn't be their problem, but they have to have a job, and But then when we went on the field trip, you could see some people they brought their water bottles, and they just, you could see they purposely put it down, and they left it there because they would look at it, put the thing down, and then when they were walking away, it would be in their hand while they were sitting down, but not in their lap or whatever. It was on the ground, and then they'd leave it and walk away, or they're slightly drop the trash while everyone's walking.
Right, excellent. So, and Ajwati, I love that comment that people will not notice the environment till it's gone. So even that water, the forest to faucets, we shared that earlier as well in one of the session. It's so important. Even this one drop of water is so important, no matter where you are, even you are at a place or you are at your own home. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. That's definitely very deep. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. And I told you that I'm going to show you, fruits. Remember now our final takeaway that kulu washrabu, eat and drink, but do not waste. Okay. And next time, definitely tell me that how you were able to remind maybe others, help others to enjoy what they're eating and drinking, but not wasting. So you can definitely help your community, help your area, wherever you are, even if it's a school, you can remind people. And look at this beautiful fruit kebab that we had served yesterday. How nice it looks, right? So when you have things organized and clean, how beautiful do they look? Who is feeling hungry now? How many of us are fasting, right? Type 1. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the fast. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you all the best food of this dunya. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the choicest blessing in the hereafter. And fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, is for me, and I will give the reward for that, right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy, inshallah. And those who are sick, we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you health very soon. Asalullah al-Azim, Rabbal Arsh al-Azim, and Yashfiyak. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recover you to the fullest. And Jazakallah khair for being here. And definitely, when you learn, you share, you go outside, you make an effort, be open and honest, talk to people about improvements. You can go and take that leadership role, take that Sharpie with you, help people write on their water bottles, help them take those things with them. And never underestimate even a small little good deed that you're able to do, right? And yes, Ajwad, only food pics, but no real food in the class. Right, Ajwad? So it was just to share an idea how you can make things more beautiful and nice. So inshallah, and just to remind ourselves that eat and drink, but do not waste. Yes, it is still food, that's correct. So thank you for being open and honest, right? Inshallah. So Jazakallah khair. And those who are local to Atlanta, most welcome to join us. We will start at 12:45 at Pearls of Quran class. We will be doing Surah Kausar and Surah Maun there. If you would like to join, it's right next to RCM. And stay happy and stay healthy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dani, you can go ahead, you can play. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Indeed, mankind is in loss except for those who believe, who did righteous deeds, who reminded each other of Haqq, and who reminded each other of patience, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum assalam. Hey, where are you off to? What's the rush? I'm going up the hill to see the Ramadan moon. Wow. Is it happening tonight? Will you see it tonight? Yeah, I think so. Can we come with you? Yeah, sure. Come along. Okay. Ramadan.
the people are coming and going, getting ready, toing and froing. There's a buzz in the world tonight. People are so excited. Daddy's coming home soon. Hoping to see the moon. Hoping to catch a sign. Everyone's so happy. Boom, boom, come out soon. We're up to see the Ramadan moon. Now shift, forget, city bright lights. We want to see the Ramadan moon. Tonight.
Look, I can see it. Oh, wow, so can I. Tomorrow, get fast.
Now Ramadan has started, and the moon has just been sighted. Tomorrow we all fast. Every Muslim mass. Now Isha time is here, and it's time to leave for prayer. The Imam is in the mosque. The Quran is in his heart. Boom, boom, come out soon. We're up to see the Ramadan moon. Draw ship, pocket, say Quran tonight. We want to see the Ramadan moon tonight.
Come with me. Okay.
Ooh.